Welcome back, Seth Bling here. This is episode 4 of my Mega Blocks series, where I recreate Minecraft blocks at a 16:1 scale. Now in this episode I'm going to be covering the bed, the comparator, and the ender portal frame. So let's get started with the bed. The way the bed works is, well, kind of like a normal bed. If I step on the pressure plate here, then I try and use the bed. Now it's daytime, so it says you can only sleep at night. So let me go ahead and set the time to night. Alright, and now that it's night, I can just step on the pressure plate. You'll notice it darkens my vision. If I try and move, it doesn't let me move. And then it sets the time to day, and my spawn point has actually been set too. So if I go ahead and kill myself, see I respawn right back on the bed here. So I basically re-implemented all the features that a bed has with redstone and command blocks. There's a daylight sensor, and actually if you come look on the outside of this thing, the daylight sensor is actually kind of visible from underneath. This is a daylight sensor that tells whether it's day or night, and that's hooked up to some AND gates here. This command block over here says, it tells the player you can only sleep at night. This one over here, we're setting the spawn point immediately. We add the blindness effect, and that was what caused the screen to go dark. And then there's a big long delay, and after the end of the delay, the time is set to 0, which is, beginning of the day. There's also this RS NOR latch with a timer thingy that keeps the player within a certain radius of that pressure plate, essentially. So that's what's going on here. A lot of command block stuff. It's kind of cool, actually, that you can re-implement all the features of a bed with just command blocks. Even the darkness and keeping the player in place and everything. That's all there is for the bed. Next I'm going to do an end portal frame. The end portal frame, okay, here's what it looks like. I had a little bit of trouble with the colors, making it look exactly right. And similarly for the comparator. So this episode, they don't look exactly perfect, but so this guy, the way it works is you can put in Eyes of Ender, and it will slowly fill up the socket. So I drop in an Eye of Ender. Oh, my cat's meowing in the background, so loud. Oh, kitty. Wow, thanks. Right when I'm recording. All right, you throw in an Eye of Ender, and it starts to appear. Okay, I just have to get through this. It starts to appear, and as I put in more and more of the Eye of Ender is going to show up here. And so I don't exactly want to spam it, but keep putting them in. Oops, dropped that one in the wrong place. Keep putting them in, and it's going to keep showing up more and more of that. This is, of course, using my structure spawner filter to spawn in this stuff using falling sand and whatever. Okay, so as I get to, that was 11, when I put my 12th in, it's actually going to complete the portal, and the center of the eye becomes the end portal here. So it requires 12, just like a normal portal. Here you can compare the actual ender eye in the socket. You can tell me what you think. It doesn't look perfect, but it's pretty cool that it works like that, and you can actually spawn in that portal, and that portal does work. It will teleport you to the end. So it counts up to 12, and then it spawns the portal. So that's the ender portal frame. The last block for this episode is the comparator. Oh, hold on. I didn't show you what's going on inside here. Actually, there's... I kind of cheated with space a little bit on these last couple. Yeah. So all these are the different structure spawners for the different components of the ender eye and the socket. They're all controlled by these wireless receivers using the scoreboard for wireless signals. So that's all that's going on down here. There's also a sorter in here, actually. So there's a little sorter, which means that you can't, if you put in an item, say this red wool, into these hoppers, it's going to sort it into a different chest. So that the red wool goes in here, whereas the 12 ender eyes that I put in ended up in this chest. So there's this redstone signal that only gets put out whenever you put an ender eye in, and that increments the scoreboard, which is what affects those wireless receivers. So that's how that works. Yeah, I cheated quite a bit with the amount of space. Similarly, I cheated a lot with the amount of space on the comparator. So what the comparator does in the Mega Blocks is it kind of re-implements some of the features of the actual comparator block, but without using any comparators on the inside. And I'll show you in a bit what's on the inside, and it's kind of a mess. But so for instance, if I put an input signal here, there's going to be an output signal, and we can see the pistons extended. Let's see, where is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks away. If I have a signal 2 blocks away from the comparator here, then the output's going to be off because the side signal is greater than the input signal from the back. So let's see, this was 5. If I put it at the same distance, you'll notice if I take this away, the output turns back on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I put it at the same distance, it's going to turn that signal back off. If I put it one more away, then it's going to go back on because the input signal from the back of the comparator is greater than the input signal from the side. So this works for any signal strength in both the back and the side. And okay, well, let me just show you how I accomplished that. It's hold on, it's a little bit of a mess. There's kind of a lot of redstone here. It turns out to compare signal strengths without using any comparators is, well, this is probably not the most efficient way possible to do it, but it's the best way I could think of to do it with this configuration. So basically, you have to check for each signal strength on the inputs, each signal strength in the output, and there's a lot of AND gates and wires to just get all the signals around. Yeah, this one is, I cheated even more because it's even wider than 16 blocks. But, what are you going to do? So that's how the comparator works. It doesn't have the output signal strength is always going to be 15, no matter what the input signal and side signal are. It doesn't have subtraction mode or anything. It just has that one comparator mode. Compare mode, I guess. But that's all there is to the comparator. So there you go, episode 4 of Mega Blocks, the bed, the ender portal frame, and the comparator. That's about it. Thanks for watching.